Ever thought your mechanic could be a mastermind criminal? How's that for a thought, eh? Because once upon a time in the town of Everett, Massachusetts, this was a reality. It was here that an ingenious yet unscrupulous scam was hatched. You see, there were 6 individuals running a seemingly ordinary auto body shop business known as FT Auto or Riviera Auto. But behind the scenes, they were orchestrating a plot straight out of a Hollywood movie. Their modus operandi? Defraud insurance companies of more than $1 million, not through high-speed chases or daring heists, but through good old-fashioned paperwork. These chaps had a knack for storytelling, spinning tales of vehicle collisions that never happened. They would submit insurance claims detailing catastrophic damages that existed only in their crafty minds. No dented bumpers, no shattered windshields, not even a scratch on the paintwork. And yet, their narratives were so convincing, the insurance firms were duped into shelling out the big bucks. But that's not all. The plot thickened with the inflation of actual damages. A minor fender bender was transformed into a car wreck, a small scratch into a major repaint job. The art of exaggeration was taken to a whole new level. And the money? It kept rolling in. In their world, every day was a demolition derby with claims piling up like wrecked cars in a junkyard. And the insurance companies? They just kept paying out, none the wiser of the elaborate ruse being played on them. Yet even in this web of deceit, not all were equal. 2 of the individuals stood out, not just as participants, but as fugitives. They were the puppet masters, the brains behind the operation, pulling all the strings from the shadows. Now that's what we call a high-stakes game of bumper cars. So, who were the brains behind this operation, you might ask? Well, let's introduce you to the dynamic duo, John Lopera and Correa. These 2 were the masterminds behind this $1 million insurance scam, playing the insurance companies like a finely tuned violin. John and Correa ran the show at their Massachusetts auto body shop. They crafted an intricate web of deceit, submitting false claims for non-existent vehicle collisions and inflated damages. They even went as far as to use aliases and stolen identities to keep their operation under wraps, but they didn't act alone. They were aided by a man named Green, a clerk at the Registry of Motor Vehicles branch. Now, you might think a registry clerk would be the last person to get tangled up in such a scheme, but Green was swayed by the allure of payments and gift cards. Yes, gift cards. I guess everyone loves a free meal at their favorite restaurant, right? So there you have it. The trio of tricksters who thought they could outsmart the system, and for a while they did. But as the old saying goes, you can't fool all of the people all the time. It seems like everyone's got a price, even the guy stamping your driver's license. So, how did these crafty criminals get caught, you ask? Well, it wasn't a walk in the park, that's for sure. The authorities had quite a puzzle on their hands. You see, our crafty culprits were not just skilled in auto body repair, but also in the fine art of deception. They didn't just submit false claims, they went the extra mile and used aliases or even stolen identities. It was like playing a high-stakes game of hide-and-seek with the authorities trying to pin down shadows. As the investigation deepened, the authorities began to notice patterns. A name popping up here, a similar claim there, the same vehicle involved in multiple accidents. It was as if the same car kept getting into trouble again and again. That's when they realized that they were dealing with more than just an unlucky driver. When the dots began to connect, the authorities zeroed in on the FT Auto and Riviera Auto shops. They found an intricate web of deception with false claims and inflated damages carefully woven into a tapestry of fraud. But as they moved in, 2 of the main culprits, the puppet masters of this grand charade, vanished. They slipped through the fingers of justice and are currently at large, believed to be hiding out in Colombia. Now you might think they've got away scot-free, living the high life on the proceeds of their ill-gotten gains. But here's the thing about crime. It has a way of catching up with you. And in the age of international cooperation and global law enforcement, it's getting harder and harder to find a place to hide. These 2 might have fled the scene of their crime, but they've left behind a trail of evidence. And as we've seen time and time again, the long arm of the law can reach further than you might think. So while they might be enjoying a temporary escape, they're living on borrowed time. Guess it's harder to hide when you've left a trail of fake car crashes behind you. So, what's the moral of the story? Well, it's quite clear, isn't it? Crime doesn't pay, especially when you're trying to scam insurance companies out of over $1 million. The Massachusetts Auto Body Shop, FT Auto or Riviera Auto, found this out the hard way. After submitting false insurance claims for non-existent vehicle collisions and inflated damages, the wheels of justice finally caught up with them. The masterminds behind this operation, John Lopera and Correa, along with their accomplice Green, are now facing serious charges for their fraudulent actions. And it's not just a slap on the wrist, folks. We're talking about potential jail time, hefty fines, and a permanent blot on their records. Two of the indicted individuals are currently at large in Colombia, proving that you can run but you can't hide forever. The long arm of the law has a way of catching up with you, even if you're halfway across the world. So, next time your mechanic gives you a hefty bill, you know what to do. Just make sure they're not going all fast and furious with your insurance claims.